If you've got a shocking statement about DI, something that you feel strongly about it one way or the other, email me, john@procraps.net. DM me on the Discord channel. Put a note in the Coffee and Craps channel Discord. And I'm not looking for you to say stupid things. I'm not looking for you to say inflammatory things, but a thing that you think is compelling for me to talk about for 5 minutes on the show every day. Here's one of them. And I've talked to, obviously I have lots of friends who practice DI. And one of them has said this. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of them said, I worked for years to get my SRR to 8. Okay, worked for years to get my SRR to 8, which is great. I think that's your SRR should be 6, right? If you're a regular run-of-the-mill thrower, shaking and going, your SRR ought to be 6, right? The 7 comes every 6 times. You can get to 8. That's really stretching it. And if you recall, way back when I did the first parts of the Dice Control series, I did it in win craps, and we set our SRR to 7, and we made a 50 grand every time we roll the dice. So that thing never stopped making us money. You get to 8, making big time money, right? But I wanted to go deeper than that. I don't think that SRR is the only metric. It's a metric that we can use, but it's not the only metric. And those of you who work in any kind of data, anything, and actually every business uses data to some degree. One metric is not enough. You need multiple points of contact with your data to know what it's telling you. Okay, I don't know that SRR is enough, because you can roll 2, you can roll 16, your SRR is 8. What does that tell you? It doesn't give you any information at all about how to bet. Okay, now tools like Bone Tracker and other things will tell you what your propensities are, where your numbers are falling, and the tool will give you a little bit, hey, you're throwing more horn numbers with this set or whatever. That's good to know. What I want to do is I want to pursue this DI thing, and I started it last night. I went live for, I don't know, 40 minutes or something like that, and I want to track more things. I don't want to rewrite Bone Tracker, but I'm going to write some stuff to make me track the things that I think are most important. I'm going to give you another screen here. I'm going to show you my daily practice that I'm going to do. And it may not be every day. There's days where I have work and I can't do it. But every day that I practice and film it live, I'm going to track certain things. And I want to track actionable results. I want to get an answer on DI. I want to get an answer of, is it A, possible, and B, what would you do with it if you could do it? I want to know how my bets would change if we do this, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at it like this. I know that these words are small, so rewatch the video on your TV or on your computer if you're on your phone right now, and pause it and read these things. But I'm going to tell you the things that I'm going to be tracking, okay? I want to know if I can get a higher rate of come out 7s. People say if you can DI, you can control the dice, you can throw more 7s. We're going to find out. I'm going to try every come out roll and set my dice and see if I can't get more 7s than I should, right? In other words, more than 16% of my come out throws ought to be a 7, right? And I'm going to set the dice to make that happen if I can do it, okay? Which does impact my normal 7s spread thing we'll talk about in a minute, okay? That's one metric I want to see. Can I get more 7s based on how I'm setting? Okay, the second metric I'm going to see is, can I achieve a higher rate of points made? Okay, in other words, I should make, when I set the point of 4, I should make that 4. 33% of the time, we should be able to make and set and hit a point of 4. The 5 and 9 should be at 40%. The 6 and 8 should be 45%. Can I, with my throwing, do better than that? Can I make more than 33% of my 4s? Can I make more than 40% of my 5s and 9s? Can I make more than 45% of my 4s and 10, or my 6s and 8s? That's what I want to see. Can I control the dice or influence the dice enough to make more of each kind of point than I should individually? Also, can I make more points overall? Because I might fail in the 4s and 10s, but I might get a ton more 6 and 8s. I want to see, can my setting and technique actually produce more points made? That actually lets me know whether or not I should bet the fire bet, right? Things like that. I want to know if I'm making points faster than normal. In other words, if I get a point of 6 and I set the dice, right, with the perfect set to get me a 6, do I pop the 6? Okay. Now I'm joking with you, but today I did that. Today I said I'm going to get me a 6, and I set my dice for a 6 and I rolled a 6. Can I do that in real life? Can I actually go and say, look, my point is 9. Let's set for the 9 and throw a 9. I want to know if I can reduce the exposure time on the table, in other words. So if I can set a point and hit it within 2 or 3 and hit the point, that my money's out there, right, for less time. I want to know if that's a thing. I want to know if I PSO less than 16% of the time. We talk about these one-hit strategies. On roll one, right, there's no causality. We know that, right? I should have a 1 in 6 chance of throwing a 7 right then and there. Can I beat that? Can I YOLO more than and get more than 84% win on the YOLO? That's what can my YOLO be at 90%? I want to get that down, right? Can I achieve 7 actual rolls between 7s 80% of the time? Now, if I don't include the come out rolls, because I'm going to try for 7s there, can my other rolls be from point being set to whatever? Can I get 7 between the 7s? That's what I want to know. 7 actionable rolls between the 7s. That's an important metric to me because that's where you make your money. Will I have a higher than normal box number hit rate? Will I hit the ATS more often? Right? The ATS has a rate at which you should be hitting the tall, the small, and the all. Can I do better than that? Can I hit the ATS one more time than I should on any of the things? The repeater bet's a big one for me, right? Can I hit the repeater bet? If you can hit the repeater bets, you're going to make a freaking fortune. If you can legitimately hit 6 6s, which is what the repeater wants you to do, one higher than the number that it takes, right? If I can get 6 6s in a roll for $10, that's more. I'll make more money on that bet than if I started at 12 and pressed it up 6 times, right? That's an interesting way to look at this game. And finally, I have this thing called this puck aware score hit counter. I want to track the number of hits that I'm achieving on the box when the puck's on. So if I set a point of 6, it doesn't count. I can't collect on that. If I hit 4 more 6s, all I care about is those 4. So I'm going to try and track just those things. So I have a couple of questions for you. So the first question that I'm going to ask for you is this. Let me go back to my browser here. I'm going to put a poll question in the chat right now. You're here live. You get to answer my poll question. The question is this. In doing all of this, what I'm trying to do here is see if DI is real enough that I can make actionable decisions on it, right? Can I get good enough in a year and a half, whatever it is, to bet the come out 7 higher? Can I get high enough to take bigger odds on my points because I'm making more points? Can I get good enough to go 750 inside or 750 across because I know I'm going to hit 4, right? I want to be able to make decisions. Part of the decision-making process, like any other sport, and somebody gave me a thing about golf, which is a true statement. In golf, you make adjustments. If my 7-iron ain't working today, I'm going for the 6-iron. If I'm 150 yards out, right, and I can hit my 8-iron 160, right, and I could hit my 7-iron or my 9-iron 140, do I take a harder swing at the 9 or a lighter swing with the 8? Like, those are the questions you have to ask yourself as a golfer, right? What club do you choose? Here in craps, if I've got a point of 6, should I throw the same set every single time? Or should I adjust and say, well, my point is 6, change my set to try and get that point, right? Or I just hit an 8. Let me throw a set that's going to get me an 8 to try and repeat the 8. Like, should I be trying to adjust as I go and really testing the theory of, can I influence the dice enough to change my outcomes, or just throw the same old set and get a statistical number? And that's where I'm torn. I think I should set the dice to try and get my numbers. I'm going to try and get what I want and prove that if I can really influence the dice, I can use that overall influence to target certain things or get myself in certain pockets and give myself better chances, right? So that's my question. That's my poll question for you. I want to know what you all think. It looks like it's hard to see. I've got about a 2-to-1 vote right now on I should do that. Who knows? Maybe I'll do like a morning session and a night session where I do it both ways. But I really feel like the whole point of this thing, to prove or disprove the ability to do this, is really going to be predicated upon using it, right? Using it. Having an SRR with one dice set doesn't help me when my point is a 4, if that dice set gets me 5s and 9s. So there it is. I know that people who do this have horn sets and come out sets and field sets. And I think if you're tracking your throws and getting statistics, you should be using those sets based on table conditions. So there's that. I think that's what I wanted to say. So again, if y'all have thoughts on this, yeah, Waylon, hit the pitching wedge, right? I am deadly with a pitching wedge, by the way. You play golf with me, that's the one club I can hit a driver and I can hit a pitching wedge. The rest of my clubs are garbage for me. But anyway, whatever thoughts you have on this, drop them in. Other actionable results that you want me to track that you think are important metrics, let me know, right? I'll add them. I'm going to rewrite the Roll Tracker app to now get statistics on these things that you're seeing on screen, as well as whatever else you want to know. So things that you think would prove that this is a real thing or disprove it for you, let me know what you think I should be tracking, because I want to give this thing a solid year a couple times a day and get you the numbers that I think will drive us to something, right? And hopefully it's not a hybrid. Hopefully it's not like Prestige Gen. I want somebody to win and somebody to lose here. I don't want to be in the middle and say, well, we're an SRR of 6 and you can't make it, nothing changes, right? I want to get to yeah or no. And I think that by tracking it every single day and putting some thought behind the data that I collect, that will change the way we bet, not just having, like we said, not just having an SRR of 8. The SRR of 8 is nice, but it's not actionable. These things are actionable, and I want to get to that. That's my goal, all right? So there's my daily dose of DI. It was a longer one than normal, but we'll have more thoughts. And some of these days, I'm just going to recap my results from practice. Some days we'll have a response from me to some quote that you made or some question that you had about DI. So again, full transparency here. When I throw at night, you saw me last night. You know, some parts that were great, some parts that were not so great. I'll be 100% transparent with this thing and how I'm going and how I'm feeling about it at the time. So